First question. Today we have iPods and TV. Describe what you use for entertainment.
Well, we had TVs when I was a child too, but we watched fewer channels. We typically had ABC, NBC, CBS, and the public television channels were available when we lived in the country. When I lived in the town, we had cable and we had some other channels. Not nearly as many as now, but you had more like 13 channels instead of 4. Our favorite shows were things like Happy Days. That's an example
Yeah.
of shows that were popular.
Hey, describe a usual hangout spot when you were a teenager and what made it so fun to hang out at.
Uh, Typically, because I kind of lived in the country, the thing to do socially was to go to the football or basketball games, and then kids would go often to like Pizza Hut, and like everybody would show up there, and you and your friends would be at one table, and other kids would be at other tables, and you'd be talking back and forth. So it was fun to hang out there.
What did you and your friends typically do for fun?
Besides going to like sporting events and hanging out, we would go to the movies. It cost about $3.50 to go to the movie when I was in high school. And sometimes after the movies, we had an ice cream shop there in town, or we'd sometimes go for Sundays or something like that.
What was your favorite TV or radio show and why did you like it?
I think I mentioned earlier that Happy Days was a very popular show when I was middle school, and I think it may be even still on when I was in high school. A lot of people liked it just because of the popularity of some of the characters like Fonzie, and just portrayed, teenagers actually from a different era, from the 1950s.
Many kids today say music is a big part of their lives. Describe how big music was in your generation.
In my generation, which I finished high school in 1981, it was big. Obviously, it was the basis of school dances, and we actually had a jukebox in our cafeteria in high school, so we were allowed to play music at lunch on the jukebox. Some of the more popular songs at the time were things like "We Are the Champions," and the whole cafeteria might start singing along with a song like that, and sometimes pounding on the table, that type of thing. Disco was just becoming very popular when I was in high school also, which kind of got pushed along by the original Saturday Night Fever movie. But there were a lot of songs like at the end of every school dance, Last Dance by Donna Summers, I think was always like the last song you'd have at a school dance. So disco is a lot more popular.
When you think of cable TV and everything on it, what do you think?
Today's cable?
Yep.
I think there's a lot more to see. There's a lot of junk there. When I think of things like QVC, I don't ever waste my time with MTV, but I think there's a lot more programming there for different people and different interests. Like I like to watch a lot of stuff like HGTV, songs like Property Virgins, shows like that. National Geographic, there's interesting programming there. A lot of more cable stuff like watching Homeland on Showtime, those sorts of things. So there's a lot more to offer people.
Okay. Because of the growth of media, do you think topics such as teen pregnancy are more debated and controversial now, and how so?
I don't think there is as much debate about it. I think when I was young,
Well, not specifically teen pregnancy, just topics like that.
topics like teen pregnancy.
Like other things like homosexuality
Uh-huh.
and things like that.
I think that there's just a lot more on there, and it's just accepted today, a lot more than it was. George Carlin became famous for his 8 words you can't say on television. You can say any of those words today. Well, I won't say any of them, but most of them are commonly accepted, and nobody blinks an eye when you hear them. We obviously have a show about teenage pregnant mothers. Nobody's screaming that it has to come off the air. Well, I'm sure there are some groups that don't want it on there. You've got all these people living together, in like Big Brother, shows like that. I've seen nudity on cable shows, things that used to be you couldn't see it because it was in an R-rated movie that you had to be 17 to go see. So, but today a kid can just flip channels and see all sorts of things, all sorts of moral values portrayed in shows that you couldn't before. So I think it's become things are a lot more common. I think the internet probably provides more debate forum than television and cable.
What did you do when you guys were bored?
Well, when I was bored, like I say, I'd go out with my friends, but that was usually on like Friday and Saturday nights. If I was bored on a weeknight, I might play solitaire or work on a jigsaw puzzle with my mom. Generally just talk with family and so forth.
On your free nights, did you stay in and do something or go out? What did you do while you were either inside or out?
It never went out really on school nights. School nights, you just did your homework, and if you're done with your homework, you watched whatever was coming on TV at 8 o'clock. Or, like I said, play a few hands of solitaire or something like that. Friday and Saturday nights, you always wanted to be out doing something, so those were the nights that you go to sporting events, you go to the mall. If nothing else was going on, you could always go to the mall and just walk around and you'd see other people, say hi to them, that kind of thing.
Who were big celebrities in your time, and what controversial things or stunts did they do?
Madonna became famous more in my college years than my high school years. I think we can credit Madonna with a lot of she was kind of outrageous in some of her songs, although some of her songs may have dated back to when I was even younger, like Papa Don't Preach. But the way she dressed, some of the clothes she wore, I see that kids today, some of the things that people wear, like sports bras and things like that. I grew up, you would be totally embarrassed to have your slip or your bra strap showing. Nowadays, a girl in the summertime might be wearing a colorful bra. You can see her bra straps right under her tank. Those sorts of things, I think, were influenced strongly by the Madonna era. So she's one example.
How did you arrange to meet up with your friends?
We would either make plans at school or we would talk on the telephone, and the telephone was a landline.